having and keeping momentum in college basketball, and in what ways will y'all need to kind of use that now moving forward?
Yeah, throughout the entire, NCAA, I feel like, and any given night, if you don't show up to play, you can always get beat, especially in this conference. This conference is so good. They have so many different weapons. Each team has different, play styles and things that they can mix up. So I think that's why, like, winning in the SEC is so tough. It's just because you don't see consistent defenses all the time. You see different defenses. They have different scouts for different teams, different players. So I think that's kind of like, it's cool to experience, and it's a great challenge. And I love, just kind of seeing that, but also that, that comes with, you really have to be locked in every single day. And that's why I say you can't really look ahead in the future. You got to look at who's your next opponent, just because of how important, wins in the SEC are, just because it's a great conference, one of the best in the country. So, I feel like you just really have to be focused on certain things to win in this league, and you can't, jump the gun.
Thanks, man.
Let's go to Mark Weiser and then then Augusta Stone.
Hey, Justin, you guys haven't had any kind of disruption to your schedule since way back in the beginning in terms of because of COVID stuff. I'm wondering, as you guys are kind of growing as a team, what it's like to kind of play, this season in that bubble of yours, and are you guys getting closer because of all the time you're spending just among yourselves?
Yes, it's like I said, this year's been obviously different for all of us, just because it's not as many fans and games getting canceled here and there, times being changed because of games canceled, stuff like that. So I feel like you just gotta be ready for anything and everything. I don't think you take a step back and hope or guess, but I feel like whenever anything is possible with this pandemic going on, any games can be canceled or moved, postponed. So I feel like either way, if it gets postponed or if you are going to play at that exact time, you still got to be ready, So I think that's just something that a mature team has to do. And for instance, I feel like when our first game got canceled, we didn't just take the day off. We went in and practiced. We practiced hard, and we got better when our first game got canceled. And I feel like, if that was ever to happen again, I feel like we would end up doing that again, not take a step off. Or we have, our game got canceled, we're going to take a day off. No, we're going to attack that day just like we would have a game.
Hey, Justin, Coach has talked a lot about how, he wants it to be a team effort, multiple players scoring in double digits and all that stuff. So how have y'all been, building through that, kind of not trying to be the hero, everyone kind of sharing the stardom, I guess, and building on that throughout the season?
I feel like that's the beauty of basketball. The way I look, or, not everybody looks at basketball that way. A lot of people in, with NBA and also other college teams, you always have a guy who can go out and score 25 a game. With this team, I feel like the beauty of the basketball within our group is that everybody shares the ball, everybody plays the right way. And when you win, when you do that too, that's like, it's the highest, it's the joy of the game, when everybody can feel that joy, everybody can feel that, stardom, as you say, with 5-6 guys in double figures. That's amazing. That's amazing. And that just means that we're playing as a team and we're winning as a team. So it's possible, and you can play the right way and win. You don't have to, bend the system or, think you have to do, everything for your team individually. It takes, a battle, it takes a war, it takes your team to, come out with a win. So I think that's the beauty of it. And I think everybody enjoys sharing the ball, and I think everybody enjoys to see other people have smiles on their face. So, I think it's great. I love it, and I think Coach loves it, and our staff. I think that's the big reason why we win games, is because we always have multiple guys, impacting the game.
Thank you.
Go to Jed May for one last question with Justin.
Hey, Justin, after the Auburn game the other night, Ty said, after that South Carolina game, y'all came in, took those 2 practices before Ole Miss, maybe extra serious, and then, the games practice leading up to the Auburn game. What has changed in practice for this team over the past week? What is different over the past 8 or 9 days that maybe wasn't there the previous couple of weeks?
I think our mindset, our focus, we just realized we can compete in this league. The losses that we have taken in the past, like that wasn't our team, So I feel like, when we come in and when we lose to a team, maybe that we think we could have gave a better shot at, when we lose that much, it just kind of, we take a step back and look at what we can do better as a team. And, these past couple practices, we've just been locked in the game plan and trying to take it a lot more serious. Because, the game is also fun as well, but when things aren't going well, you just kind of got to buckle up a little bit and get a little more serious with the scouting film and also, your game plan execution. So we've just been locked in. And I think the guys are ready. They want to win. And I think the guys are ready to go on or try to take this on a run. So, we're just locked in and we're going to give our best bet every single game.
Justin, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to have PJ Horne. Our first two questions will come from Connor and Davis.
Hey, PJ, with the sort of uncertainty with the season and knowing that games get moved last minute or time might change, has that made it harder to find a rhythm or find any sort of consistency knowing that, hey, in the back of your mind, this could all get moved around and changed to the last second?
It definitely changes our rhythm. It's hard to keep doing the same thing over and over again because of what's been going on in this pandemic. So yeah, it's hard. It's very hard to find a rhythm, but we just have to do our best, the best we can to stay together and stay as one as we move forward.
Hey, PJ, I was just wondering, after the South Carolina loss with the veteran leadership that you show, was there anything that you said that has helped the team turn it around these last two games?
I just told them, like, there's more games, mate. Don't put your head down. Just keep going forward because we have a lot more to look forward to. You can't change what just happened. So we can only focus on what's in front of us and not behind us. So I always try to get to the next thing and do it with full effort.
Let's go to Chip Towers and Anthony Dasher.
PJ, obviously your 3-point shot is one of the big reasons that Tom Crean wanted you at Georgia. It seems like it's really clicking lately, and the whole team is really. Was there any kind of light came on? What can you say about the art of shooting and the same guy shooting them? Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't.
I feel like the art of shooting just comes from preparation, and also it comes from team being a together team. It comes from being a part of a team that shares the ball. We have to be able to adapt to certain situations and being able to handle what's in front of us. And I feel like in practice, you have to be able to kind of learn and prepare for different games that are in front of you.
How much better do you feel like you guys are playing offensively right now? Like almost 7 guys in double figures the other night.
I feel like we're having fun. I feel like the more fun we have, the better our offense will be. And with that being said, it shows on the court and everybody's doing their part.
Thank you.
Sorry, PJ. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
My phone's ringing. I apologize about that. Just from your experiences, you've got a little bit of momentum the team does right now. What is the key to taking advantage of that now moving forward?
Just don't let your foot off the gas. Keep your foot on the pedal and keep going, because it's always going to be a battle. It's the SEC. It's not going to get any easier, and every game is a battle, and we have to stay focused and stay committed to what we do.
And we've got time for one last question that comes from Jed May.
Hey, PJ, over the last week or so since that South Carolina game, have you noticed a change in the team's maybe focus? Justin said y'all have been more locked in over the past week. And as a guy that's played a lot of college basketball, how much can a refocusing like that help a team as it goes down the stretch and heads towards, the end of the season?
It helps out a lot. I feel like our energy definitely changed. We as a team, we believe we're gonna win the game, and when we have a mindset that we're gonna win, we always have a chance, And I feel like what Justin said, as far as us being focused and committed, we always are focused and committed. We just have to buy in into what we're doing.
Okay, PJ, thank you for your time, and have a good rest of your day. Okay, everybody stand by. We will have Coach Crean shortly. Do I change the name here, or should do it in there? She'll do it there. Just do it in the computer at all. He'll just show up. No one will stay. Let's go straight to the questions. Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, Coach. We're joined by Coach Crean, and our first questions will come from Augusta Stone and Mark Weiser.
Hey, Coach, for the past two games, going so well for y'all, I just want to know specifically, what are you guys focusing on to keep that upward momentum in the positive direction?
I don't think it's anything that we're doing differently than we weren't doing a couple of weeks before. I think it's all a matter of just working on execution every day on both ends of the floor, working shorter segments, and going into every day knowing that we have to get better at what we do, but at the same time, we have to game plan. So having a really good balance as best we can. And I think that's the most important thing. And really not much has changed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, I wonder what you can remember about getting to know Tamani as a player, during the recruiting process, and kind of now that you've been with him for 2 seasons at Georgia, or in the second season, kind of, what buttons do you push to get the most out of him as he develops?
Well, I think he's got to stay hungry. And I think when he's aggressive, when he's down low, in an offensive and a defensive stance, when he's engaged, I think he plays at a really high level. And I think when he starts worrying about the wrong things, a missed call, a non-call, those type of things distract him, and we need him to stay on the floor. But I think when we saw him play, we saw a guy that had not only tremendous upside athletically, but tremendous upside as a basketball player, because he had such a good field. He was so well coached, and you could see it. And he was able to do a lot of things. He was aggressive. He could play with both hands. I think that's really important. And so he's really making a lot of strides. And I think as his aggressiveness continues to be consistent, then the consistency day in and day out will come out in him. And that's so important for him, because he can do a lot of different things. And he's got to make sure that he's active defensively. He's got to make sure that he's active verbally. He's got to make sure that he's got that quick twitch that he's got, and continue to do the hard things really well, as I think that's what he's good at.
Go to Jed May and then Anthony Dasher.
Hey, Coach. After the Auburn game the other night, Ty said, practice after that South Carolina game, the team was really focused. They were locked in, and have been ever since then. What changes have you seen in practice over the past, week, 10 days or so that's, I guess, allowed these last 2 games to go the way they have?
I don't know if I've seen a lot of change. I don't think the practice structures change much. It's probably just more individuals being locked in for longer periods of time. The practices aren't very long. And so I think that helps them recover well, which is very, very important, obviously. And it's really just probably more of a mindset than it is anything else. I mean, we tweak and adjust every day to what we do, and we add plays and actions to every game that we play. So really not much is different there. We're still really staying as true to the fundamentals of practice on both ends of the court as we possibly can.
Hey, Coach, I know momentum is only as good as your next ball game, but how important is it for this team to have a little bit of confidence now at this midway point for the season moving forward?
Well, I think confidence is extremely important. And I think it comes because you work hard and you play together, and things go right for you. And I think there's a camaraderie that we already have that just builds and becomes even stronger. But you have to stay absolutely focused. And every day has got to be its own masterpiece, so to speak, like John Wooden would say, right? I mean, you've got to do a great job each day of maxing it out and make sure that you're not leaving anything to chance. You're not leaving any stone unturned. And at the same time, you're not leaving their legs on the practice court. And I think that's really important. And we're very cognizant of that. So it's just a matter of us continuing to understand what that game calls for going into the game, stay true to the game plan, and then be able to make the adjustments that we have to make. And I think that's where momentum gets built, most of all. I mean, who's flexible and who can adjust, and who doesn't get distracted inside of the game.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Next up is Davis Baker and then Chip Towers.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering what you've seen from Vanderbilt on tape, and specifically Scotty Pippen Jr.
Well, he's one of the highest usage guards in the nation right now. He's playing at an extremely high rate. He's shooting the ball very well. He's getting to the rim. He's drawing fouls. It's a lot like preparing for Sharif Cooper, and the fact that the ball is in his hands a lot. And he's doing a really good job of initiating contact and getting rewarded for it at the foul line. And so we've got to do a really good job of keeping him in front of us. He loves angles. He loves to be able to get by you with angles. Their team can score, whether it's Maxwell, whether it's Dylan. Those guys can really, really score. I mean, they can shoot the ball. They're shooting a ton of threes. They run a lot of really good actions to get those threes. They get on the offensive glass. Jordan Wright, DJ Harvey, those guys create issues. So they're a very, very good team. I mean, they're coming off their best game of the year. I mean, they're by far their best game of the year, and they've had a week to rest and prepare. So we know we're going to get a really fast, organized, high throttle team in here tomorrow night with Vanderbilt.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, I know it's always about the next game, absolutely, but there's 8 games left overall. And it's all about Q1 and Q2 these days. You got a bunch of Q1 opportunities in front of you on the other side, maybe of this week. But do you discuss that at all with your team? Do you verbalize that at all about, hey guys, we got a chance to really put something together here toward the end of the year?
No, not one bit. I mean, not one bit. I think they're aware of that. I think it's very clear that you've got to stay locked into the next game. I mean, that you just do. And they know those types of things, and it doesn't do any good. It does not help us prepare for a better practice or prepare to win that game, any more than that. Do they talk like that? I'm sure they do. I mean, I would hope they do. But at the end of the day, staying absolutely locked in to the game you're playing and to the preparation of that is by far the most important thing. It always has been, always will be.
Let's go down to Connor Riley.
Hey, Tom, this Vanderbilt game, it got moved from 1 to 6, and knowing that your schedule can get changed and moved around at any moment, has that made it hard to sort of find consistency or find a rhythm for you and your team this year?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, you just adjust. I mean, it's might be different if it was a different day, but on the same day, just hours later, that's not a huge adjustment. I mean, there'll be adjustments we'll always have to make. I mean, there's, like Chip said, there's 8 games left. I mean, we look at the games that are already canceled for tomorrow. I mean, in our league and around the country. So you just have to stay flexible and adaptable to everything that happens and make the best of it.
Coach Crean, thank you for your time and good luck tomorrow.
You're welcome. Thank you.